Ahead of me is Mac Lake. We're on the opposite end of where the restrooms and all the boat rental and all that and the dock are. That's on the other end of the lake. We're on the, I believe it's the south end of the lake. It's a beautiful little lake. Okay, let's see here. Turn this around, kind of face me into the sun a little bit. Okay, well, welcome to RCSP, Florida. Today we are at Mac Lake and we are at Colt Creek State Park, which is where Mac Lake is. It's a beautiful lake, kind of right behind me here, right in front of me, over by where the car is parked. There's another pond there, and beyond that, kind of further to the east or to the west, is another little small pond. This Mac Lake is the biggest one here. The other ones are more pond size. This is a real good sized lake here. But it all is man-made. All of these lakes were done from mining operations way back when. So anyway, I'm going to kind of wander around here and see what I can see. I mean, there's been so much damage, which I'll show you some of that, but I'm going to head back towards basically Catbird. And if you look off in the distance, you'll see Catbird. I kind of came down here first because it's the first road you come as you come in the front gate and get past the ranger station. It's not quite so cool today. Today it's, when I got here, it was like 79 degrees, and so I'm sure now I've been here for, I don't know, maybe an hour. So now I'm sure it's probably up to low 80s. And of course, almost any place in Florida that has water, you'll end up at one of these signs. And from you people that don't know about alligators, obey the signs or you could be in deep trouble. And you could cost you your life. These things are nothing to play with. You can see back in there some of the devastation. Cloudy today, as you can see. So we're getting the sun, we're losing the sun, we're getting the sun, we're losing the sun. So it's going to be a challenge today to get everybody where they can see what's going on. And you can see right back through there, there's more trees that are down. And that will be the story of the day. That's pretty much the story of the day for Florida right now. Milton was probably the most devastating hurricane to hit Florida on the West Coast in decades. There's a little palm warbler. And now you can see Catbird a little better. I've noticed even though the DJI has got really good, this is the Action Pro 5, even though it's really got good stabilization and everything in it, the way I kind of have to walk these days with neuropathy kind of makes me still jar it. I've got the DJI gimbal and I need to try it on that. I haven't tried it yet, so I'll have to give that a try. Okay, we're gonna head out of here and go to another part of the park and we'll catch up with you there. I've been wanting to come back out here again. We were out here, and the last time we were here, as you can tell from all of this was all flooded. And you can see all the trees that have come down. They're just kind of everywhere. More so along the edges. And the tree you see right there in the middle of the picture, when it was standing, I've taken pictures of ibis sitting in the top of this tree. But they won't be sitting in the top of it anymore. They might be sitting on it while it's down, but the top is on the ground now. So, I don't know. And it's this way all through this area. I haven't, because I couldn't go down the trails the last time, I didn't have any idea that this much damage had been done. We couldn't get to this. About all we could get to would be basically Mac Lake. which is kind of right behind me now. The other end of it, the south end of it, is right behind me. Walk along here and kind of shoot out into the swamp so you can see what's going on. I'm jarring the camera a little bit, sorry, but it's very uneven ground where I'm walking, and I'm having to watch what I'm doing so I don't end up on the ground. I was out walking here a little while ago. I kind of went out to Mack Lake behind me here, and I was walking through some pretty heavily matted grass, and all of a sudden I stepped down on the grass. And a frog was underneath the grass, and I guess I stepped on him. Fortunately, it was heavy, thick grass, so I don't think I really hurt him, but he didn't like it. I didn't kill him though, because when I got off of him, he let me know he didn't like it, and he screamed again. This is the smallest of the 3 ponds, and it is absolutely covered from one end to the other with lily pads. That tree right there is coming out green with the sun behind it. It really looks cool. Walk down the hill here. You can tell that all this was underwater at one time. Even the grass was underwater. Grass likes to be near the water, but it doesn't like to be under the water or have its feet wet, so to speak. And I think I'm going to stop right about here where the grass stops, because if I don't, I'm going to sink into the mud here, I'm afraid. This is a beautiful little pond. It's but like I say, it is covered from one end to the other with lily pads, which is a good thing. When they start blooming, that should be beautiful. I see some buds out there now. There's actually one right in there. And in this bright sun, I'm having a hard time seeing my screen, so I'm hoping I'm pointing at it, but no guarantees. Whoa, that was something. I don't know, that was a gator or what that was. Something just splashed, big splash right next to me. I see it going out there. It wasn't a big gator, but it might have been a small one. Of course, I'm right here on the edge of the bank. But I always look and I didn't see anything, but he may have been behind that tree. You know, maybe completely submerged except for his head. All he's got to do is get his nose out of the water and breathe. Oh well. Well, you can look at, I probably can't see it on the action camera, but there's all kinds of little minnows down there. You can see all the little circles. That's all minnows coming to the surface. Okay, let's saw some weeds moving, but I never saw anything come up. But like I say, there are so many lily pads in here that it's hard to say. May step on another frog if I'm not careful. But it was actually kind of right in there is where it was, where the commotion came from. Alrighty, let's move on. I'm hiking down one of the paths here. And there's lots of robins here. But the one thing I haven't told you so far is that I'm shooting with actually a point and shoot camera. So I'm trying to kind of show people, you know, what you can do with what you've got. Am I going to get any kind of a fantastic long bird shot with this? No, because it has a 24 to 72 zoom lens on it. Now, it's a Leica lens, but it's still 24 to 72. Okay, so what am I using? Well, let me show you. Hang on a second. I'm going to cut this off and put the camera down where I can. It's under my arm at the moment, so I got to put it on the ground so I can take a picture of it. Be right back. Well, here it is. See how close I can get here. This is a Panasonic Lumix LX10. It's actually a DMC-LX10. And that's what I've been using all day to do close-ups and every other shot. So anything you've seen in this video that wasn't done on the action camera was shot with this camera. And I have to say, let me get it turned around here. Okay. Without dropping it, I don't want to do that. So I just thought what made me drag this camera out, I've had it for years. I bought it back when I was shooting Panasonic and shooting the GH5. So I kind of got away from the GH5, went to Sony several years ago, and really haven't picked it up much since. We had a bunch of monarch butterflies lay eggs and hatch caterpillars that ate up all of our host plants. And then they made chrysalis, and I've got about 6 or 7 chrysalis that I'm waiting to hatch. And I'm trying to, see if I can basically time lapse that. And to do that, I've got to have I try even the Action 5 Pro, or Action, I guess it is Action 5 Pro, not Action Pro 5, Action 5 Pro DJI. It takes a fantastic picture, but you can't get close enough. It's a wide angle lens. So with that 24 to 72, I can do that. I can get really close because it's really good at macro, as you will see in this video. And it's going to be, it was kind of a challenge. So I went ahead and drug it out, charged the batteries back up. The only problem I had was the battery life's not super long because it's a small battery. And although I've been shooting it most of the day, I'm still shooting the first battery, but I have a couple more with me if I run out. But anyway, I bought the adapter for the battery eliminator so I can just plug this in and plug it into a power bank, and then I'm good to go all day or all night, or both. So they haven't hatched yet, so I haven't tried that, but that's why I got it out. And then I started looking around and seeing things about it that, I read a couple of videos or looked at a couple of videos on YouTube that talked about it. And I had kind of forgotten that it did some of the things that it does. And it's really a really neat camera. So the big thing I like about it, it's just got post focus. And what that means is how many times have you gone out and tried to get a tight shot of a flower and there's like 3 or 4 flowers and you can't focus stack because the wind's too strong. And don't get me wrong, you can't be very strong and it can't move with this camera either, with the LX10. But, I can take one picture, it figures out all the focus points. So I have to wait till the wind dies down, hit it, it takes all the pictures in a hurry, and then combined, you can actually go back and merge the pictures and end up with one JPEG photo. And it is really cool. I mean, you can get everything in focus. I took a picture of a bougainvillea the other day, and it was about, 2 feet off the ground. It got all the flowers on that branch, which is a lot, and the ground was in focus. So it's quite interesting, and I'll have to show you that. But it's just kind of a challenge, and I thought I would come out here today, and I brought my long lenses and all my other stuff. But I decided, let's go see what I can do with this lens. So in this video, you'll kind of see what I can do with this lens. Catch up with you in a bit. This is one of the creeks that goes through this place. That's where it got its name, Colt Creek. This is a creek. Colt Creek goes through this land. And I'm walking on a berm that goes right along beside this. Well, that'll about do it for this trip. I've had a great time out here at Colt Creek State Park. I always do. This is my favorite park in all of Florida. It's not crowded generally. Even on the weekends, it's not that bad. Now, of course, I'm out here on a Tuesday, and it's in the afternoon. That's about 2 o'clock or so. So I've seen a few people, but most of the people you do see out here are staying at the campground. You see very few other people that are visiting. So, and it is so big and has so many miles of trails. I haven't run into anybody on the trail so far, and I've been out here for at least an hour. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I wanted to show you what you can do with a point and shoot camera. And it's amazing. You know, I think I've gotten some pretty good shots. You might disagree, but take a look at them and see what you think. If you want to go out with a small camera, it's a real challenge. Take that challenge. Go out with a point and shoot camera and just see what you can do. Now, this camera is not super duper cheap. I think it was around $900 when I bought it, brand new. But they're now going between $600 and $800 used, and it's a great camera. It really is. I mean, I backed up my GH5 with this thing, and it did a great job. But when I moved on to Sony, higher resolution and everything else, and that's the one drawback you'll see here. I wished all day that I had a long lens, but you don't, and there's nothing you can do about that. It's what it is what it is. So you have to enjoy it while you can and do what you can with it, and if you can't do it, then don't worry about it. You can do it with the other cameras, but it's just a way of showing people that you don't have to have thousands of dollars of camera gear to go out and make a good video or take good pictures or video for that matter. It does a really good job. It's 20 megapixels. It's got a 1-inch sensor. It's only got an f11, and it's got a manual. When you go to manual, you go to manual in both aperture and shutter speed. One's controlled by a dial, the other one's controlled by a ring on the front of the lens. So actually it's the back of the lens, but anyway, it's no big deal. I've been shooting in manual most of the day when I wasn't shooting video, and it's been very good. I'll have to wait till I get home to see how good, but I think that will come out okay. It's like anything, you have to process the pictures, but and they are a JPEG in most cases, so you can't do a lot of what you can do with a raw image. You can if you take an image, but if you take the stack focus part of this, it gives you a JPEG. You can't get a raw picture out of it. So the raw pictures coming out of this on the regular stills, you can process them just like you would any other raw file. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you do, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. And if you want to see more of my videos, you know what to do. Subscribe and then hit that bell button if you want to be notified when I post a new video. I hope you've had a good time. I know I have, and we'll catch up with you later in the next video. Have a great day. Oh, and get out there and shoot. You can't become a better photographer sitting on your couch watching YouTube. See you later.